It's Justin Wang, and today we're going to go over how to animate your own cartoon characters and your own film. So when someone is trying to deliver a narrative to you, would you prefer to go through a lengthy reading or a series of action-packed drawings, such as cartoons and animations? After all, reading literature could be boring. Cartoons convey stories by straightforwardly presenting events and actions in a narrative context to make it easier to be comprehended. And animation is even more creative and unique than just people or say panels of pictures with motions. Both of them are demanded to give drawings a flourishing vitality to captivate the audience's attention. While many people see animation as a more or less medium, say, it has been in use in various forms as far as 5200 BC. Throughout the last century, we have used animated films as entertainment, as propaganda, and as creative stories that touch the human mind. And the first known film was made in France in 1906. It was titled Humorous Phases of Funny Faces, and was made from chalk pictures. There were other small animations made, but the first animated cartoon that had synchronized sound was made by Walt Disney in 1928, called Steamboat Willie. Soon, many cartoons followed suit. And they were often used to entertain audiences with gags and charades of hand-drawn characters like Tom and Jerry. Soon, Disney released their first full-length feature film, Snow White. Then in 1993, software for 3D animation was created. Now, all of these events lead up to animation in the films we see today. From Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse to live-action movies with CGI to popular YouTube animators like Edgeworld, animation has become a popular form of storytelling and has shaped the modern world, basically. Moreover, animation industry is hugely important to the entertainment industry and the world as a whole. Everything from the animated feature films that fill the box offices, from the motion graphic artists for the local news stations. The industry employs thousands and hundreds of artists, animators, producers, and technicians to produce and satisfy the huge demand for diverse content in the world. One could easily include not just the animated films, but the world of visual effects, where, say, over 90% of films and TV shows wouldn't exist without the visual effects artists. The craft of animation has spurred amazing advances in storytelling since its inception. It makes us to be able to tell stories and communicate emotions and ideals in a unique, easy to perceive way that both small children and adults can understand. It is hard for us to imagine childhood without all the anime characters that filled our imagination. Disney, Fletcher Studios, Warner Bros., Looney Tunes, UPA, Hanna-Barbera, Filmation, Toei Animation, Aardman, Cartoon Network, and Studio Ghibli, etc. The list is long and diverse. Regardless if you know what their works is or their reputation, it is an important cultural milestone, part of our collective understanding of the world. Now, today, anyone can pick up a drawing tablet and show their ideals to the world. Drawn figures can be fun or make something sad or serious have a playful, less intimidating feel to it to make the viewers more comfortable. Now, you'll be shown how to draw a character and animate a scene for your convenience. To start off, we begin with a central ideal to build a character upon. This is important since that is your ideal brought to life. Make it original and drawn easily with a memorable framework in a quick sketch. After that, make sure you start sketching out the important details on paper and create a sketch frame within the pose. Then we bring animation to the table. Here are the principles. Squash and stretch emphasizes object flattening or stretching to emphasize speed, weight, and momentum. Do not overdo it all the way. Anticipation gives the audience a cue for what the character is about to do to make the action more realistic. Say, crouching before jumping. Stage presents ideal, so it is completely and unmistakably clear. It's something poor and decrepit. Go over the top. Don't have an object that detracts from the purpose. Why? To tell a story without losing the ideal. This is most important to remember. Also, angling scenes are very critical. And now, pose to pose. To create a natural movement from one pose to another, fill in as you move on to another pose. And draw a sketch as a reference. Also, straight ahead lets you fill in unpredictable movements like explosions and flickering fires. It also makes limb and hair movement natural. And follow through with your actions. Make sure the limbs drag to different spaces between poses to build up anticipation of the actions. Arcs provides circular movement, like say this and say. Secondary actions provide gestures that support the main action to add more dimension to the character's action, say licking before you eat. Also, you have to remember timing as well. As mentioned, exaggerate your character to emphasize every action, poses, and express to increase the impact on the viewer. Make it it's a convincing action, as you know. Draw solid drawings, add weight and balance. It provides a 3D feeling. Use basic solids like cubes, prisms, spheres, and cylinders, but no flat shapes allowed. Avoid twinning, which is say symmetrical lines for characters, and so make them asymmetrical if possible. It is preferable. Keep track of the camera view. This is what you have heard earlier. Now for appeal. It adds more detail to certain aspects to make it more interesting, but keep it simple. Do not make it an artwork. Try to make it possible for you to draw as well. And be sure to practice. It is critical to one's proficiency. Now, you have learned about the development of animation, its significance, as well as how to animate your own character and story. Remember, its creativity isn't just dedicated to making wonderful artwork to dazzle an audience to tell a story, but also to convey info to tell a story to others effectively without words. Now, as I've mentioned in the beginning, when drawing, images can be used to enhance the story when displayed effectively. Just like going out to play tennis with the friends to keep your skills up, you need to practice sketching with your characters and objects in real life to give your characters proper depth and personality. So be sure to practice when you have the chance. And next time, when you see an animated short film or read a comic, take time to appreciate the hidden stories being told. We are indeed aristocrats, so.